If you're hurt, injured, don't waste time. Gary Johnson cries for every dime.
Welcome to Simply the Law, a program created by attorney Gary C. Johnson. Simply the Law provides free legal advice and encourages happiness and quality of life. Now, here's Simply the Law with Gary C. Johnson. Hello, everyone. Welcome into Simply the Law. I'm Keith Casebolt, my dear friend Gary C. Johnson.
Isn't it wonderful to be alive, to have made it another week, my friends, to get to visit together and hang out? And by the way, thank you for hanging out with Keith and I. Today, we will try to be on our best behavior. Probably won't work, but we'll do our best. None of you been fighting, criticizing, condemning, and complaining, right? I was thinking about that. You know, this stuff pops in my mind. I don't know why. Just before I came in to do the program. And it was about all the things we get aggravated about in life that seemed so important. About this person gave me a slight. I caught them telling me a little bitty fib of a lie, and how aggravated I am at all of this, and how aggravated I am at them, and on and on and on. Just all these numerous things in our lives that come at us every day and bombard us. And we fall into it, and we think about it, and we worry about it, and we waste some of our time when we could be looking at the splendor of life itself. We could be looking at the big picture up here where we should be and say to ourselves, I'm going to find me a sunset if it'll just quit raining. And think about this. One sunset is more beautiful than the greatest work of art that's ever been done by any artist on earth. Just one. Yet we take it for granted. We don't even waste our time to go enjoy it. We get tired. We worry about what other people are saying. We worry about what other people are thinking. Do they like my dress? I heard she said my hair was theater hair.
I'm not sure what that is, but it sounds like
well,
it's
bad. Well, if you ever
bad.
go to theater, look in front of you, you'll see.
Oh, okay, yeah, okay, makes sense.
When none of that matters, it has absolutely nothing to do with what you should be thinking about in your quest for peace of mind and happiness. And it's a choice. Again, I keep referring to that on every program. Happiness is a choice. So, that's what popped in my mind. Not a doubt in my mind. There's somebody out there right now that's pouting or aggravated over some slight, either real or imagined, that someone has done to you. And you're wasting your dash. Don't do it. Quit. Nada. No.
You know, what is so empowering about what Gary is saying? The other day, I was complaining a little bit about my weight and the way I felt physically, and I was complaining to Gary, and I was in this bad mood, and Gary looked at me and said, "Do you know what to do to fix it?" And I said, "Yes." And then, with the great wisdom of my friend, he said, "Okay, fix it." And it was as simple as that. What you're talking about is instead of wallowing in whatever the problem is, if we know the answer to fix it, go ahead and fix it.
If it's in your power to fix it, fix it. Keith's complaining about his weight to me. Fix it if you're complaining about it. Quit complaining, fix it. And guess what? A week later, he's down 6 pounds, which he's in the process now of fixing it.
I'm in the process.
And you're going to fix it, right?
And you know what? It was all because of the empowerment of you said, make the choice to do it, and I've made a choice now. Now I got to stick with the choice.
It is amazing the choices we have involving ourselves. You don't have a lot of choices involving other people because they're going to do what they're going to do. But you have all kinds of choices involving you.
Now that's a great point you just made. So why are we spending our time worrying about fixing other people when you're sitting here saying it's our dash, our life? If we really want to try to fix something, fix ourselves.
First. And then by example, you may fix someone else, but no other way. Period. Not going to happen. And you'll be so much happier. There's a bunch of my friends out there that are watching this program that are absolutely, have felt like they've been slighted or passed over or made feel unimportant or put down. And it's all from some other human being, and it doesn't matter because they're not the ones that makes the decisions about where you're going or what you're going to be doing. It's you. They have absolutely no control of how you perceive what's going on around you. Zero. Only you do. They have no control over how you choose to react to what they do. Zero. Unless you decide to let the emotions take over and get angry and start pouting and all of those things, which are natural reactions. Don't do it. You don't have to. Those are contrary to being happy and feeling good. And after all, our whole goal here is to feel good, right? Feel good, not bad. Appreciate the people around us. Live this life to its fullest. That's the goal. It's not to get back at somebody that slighted me or whatever.
You know, Gary, everything that you're saying just made me think. I attended a funeral the other day for a neighbor in our community, and the outpouring of the people that showed up, the love and the respect and what this individual meant to everyone throughout their lives, it was incredible. And as I sat there, I thought, I hope we showed this individual all of that same respect and appreciation while they were alive, not after they're gone. It was a blessing to be there and do it, but we need to show it while everybody is here.
Remember, I say on this program quite a bit, treat everyone around you that's close to you as though it's the last day you will ever spend with them. And you will be amazed how much that enriches your life and theirs. And guess what? It might be. You don't know what's going to happen. You don't know if there's some wreck or something that's going to kill you. You don't know. But you do know you've got them today. And you treat them just exactly like it's the last day you'll ever have it. Usually I've noticed over my career that someone will come along and be in someone's life and will have done thousands of little things and good things for this person. Been there to support them, been there when they were sick, did all kinds of things for them. They, over all long period of time. And then they, being frail human beings that they are, make a mistake. And do you know what happens? What do you think the person dwells on in regard to them? It's only that one little or big, doesn't matter, mistake. And all of that things and all those wonderful things in the past are gone. Now, isn't that stupid? You think about it. How stupid can we be?
There's really no other way to put it. Somebody does 999 great things for you, has been a member or part of your life for years, and they do make one mistake and you discard it all.
Well, and you forget that being human, we come with frailties of being human. We can't be more than human beings. So you need to dwell on the good and try to accept the bad, understanding the people around you, including you, are just human. No more, no less. And don't judge anyone harsher than you would judge yourself. And I'll bet you won't be passing any very harsh judgments if you do that. Okay?
Yeah, for those of us who have ever said, "Oh, Gary, I can never forgive myself," and Gary has said, "Oh, you'll find a way. You'll forgive yourself."
Let's take a break and we'll come right back. I got some stuff I want to talk to you folks about.
What a great opening to the program. I just got the funny feeling that what Gary just told us is going to increase the percentage of hugs and the percentage of times that we say, "I love you," when we leave people, because he made a very big point in the opening segment. Stay with us. Gary C. Johnson and Simply the Law comes back right after you see this.
People are asking, what is judo law? Judo is a martial art that uses the opponent's strength to defeat them by not opposing it directly. Gary C. Johnson created a method of practicing law based upon that principle. It worked so well, he named it judo law. To see the results, go to GaryCJohnson.com. To have Gary and his team of judo lawyers go to work for you, dial pound HURT. This is an advertisement.
Welcome back into Simply the Law. I got to tell you, friend, your advice in the opening segment was fantastic. And just the other day, I went into a store and a young man raced in front of me and grabbed the door and said, "Sir, let me get the door for you." I watched the show and I said, "Young man, thank you, and you're going to do well in life." But a simple act of kindness.
That's right. Okay, folks, talk to you about something. Probably should have talked to you about this a long time ago. You see all of these commercials from lawyers talking about big insurance companies and all of these things. And I want to ask you, do any of you really believe that insurance companies are evil? I don't. They're not evil. They're human beings. They're operating a business. The business is to make money for stockholders. Corporation. Their business is to collect more premiums than they pay claims. The problem is, in making their profit, is how do they deal with these claims? Well, let's think about it. Someone's hurt. It's not personal how they treat you. It's nothing to do with you as an individual. By the way, I had to tell a client the other day when he was telling me all the things that they were going to be doing to him, that he wasn't that important. But anyhow, let's move on.
Yeah, I just like what you pointed out up front. It's not against you. This is a business. These individuals have a job, and their job is to try to not pay out as the money. It's simple.
That's right. It's business. It's not personal. It's economics, whatever you call it. It's business. Now, how do they conduct their business? Well, let's say someone's injured in a wreck, and they represent a person that's involved in a wreck. What's the first thing their adjuster does? Number one is they start to determine whether or not they're going to have to pay money. So first they have to do an evaluation. They have to get the police report and determine who caused the wreck. Was the person we're insuring, did they cause the wreck? Okay? If they conclude that in their opinion they didn't cause the wreck, voila, they're not going to pay any money, right? And they shouldn't have to if they didn't cause the wreck. First thing.
Pretty simple. So they're going after the facts. The thing they want to find out is my party guilty or not guilty?
Then they go another step. Does the person have a lawyer? Or better yet, can we get a statement from them and lock them down on their injuries before they get a lawyer? Because they're not going to remember all their injuries when we take their statement. And our lawyers that we're going to hire could use it later. It's not personal. That statement they're taking, it's not personal against you, it's how they do business. And if they can lock you in, if you have a significant injury with several other injuries, and they call you about and get a statement, and the only injury you talk about is your significant injury, then later when all the significant injury gets a little bit better, and all those other injuries are starting to cause you a problem, they've got your statement saying you didn't have those other injuries.
Gary?
But that's just business.
You've intrigued me already because you used the statement there in the opening. They want to know if you have a lawyer, the first thing. So are you telling us that if they find out you don't have a lawyer, there's a whole set of rules or questions to go by because they know that it's going to be less money or they know how to handle it differently?
No, they can go ahead and get your statement
Okay.
if you don't have a lawyer. If you tell them you have a lawyer, they can't take your the statement. I recommend that if you're in a wreck, don't give a statement. You might give one to your insurance company, but I'd even be reluctant to do that until I talk to a lawyer. But don't give a statement without a lawyer. And you don't want to give a statement until you see what's wrong with you. And you're emotional, you're mad, you're tired, there's all kinds of reasons why you don't want to give a statement early on until you know what's going on.
Are you telling us that if you give the statement, you might make some innocent, claims or suggestions or give information that can and will be used against you?
Always. You never get it right. Never. Because that's not who you are. You're not on guard for the tricky questions they're going to be asking. But that's okay. It's not personal. The point I'm trying to make is it's not personal to you what they're doing. This is their business. Okay? Now the next question is, what do they do? After they do that, they find out you have a lawyer. Then they have to do an analysis. Who is the lawyer? Then they look long and hard at that. They have a dossier, a thing, on every single plaintiff's lawyer. They know everything about us. They know our track record. They know more about us probably than we know about ourselves because it's not personal to us, it's business.
Hey, I know our friends at home caught that big word you used, but just so Casebolt is on the line with you, tell me what that dossier means.
That means they keep a file on you.
So in other words, they've got your record as to what you do, if you go to trial, if you settle,
That's right.
how much money you take. They pretty well know what you're
They've
going
even
to
got
do.
you on a computer spreadsheet on which injuries and what you've settled for in other cases for that type of injuries. They got it all.
Wow.
I mean, they have all kinds of information on the lawyers. They really do.
So basically, as soon as they know who you're dealing with, they can more or less predict what that case is going to be valued.
Well, they think they can. Pretty well. They have a good idea. Let's take a break. We'll come back and we'll talk to you some more stuff.
You know, this is an amazing look into how everything actually works. Up till now, you kind of thought it was a battle and a war, but Gary's kind of explained it. It's really business, and they have a business model that they're going after. Stay with us. More information with Gary C. Johnson coming up after you see this. Eastern Kentucky, Southern West Virginia, and Southwest Virginia. It can be a tough territory to reach when it comes to marketing. We can help. We can also help you find your identification. And we have plenty of services to do it and a lot of experience behind us, over 37 years. In fact, we've either booked or sold nearly $70 million in advertising in this region. You need a new voice, a new idea, a new concept? Casebolt Marketing. We're ready to go to work for you today. Our motto is nothing happens until you make it happen. So let's get started today. Welcome back into Simply the Law. Gary, this almost sets up like a chess match. I mean, the insurance companies, they know the moves, they know what's the game, they've got a plan. As soon as anything happens, they're ready to go.
Well, It's their business. That's what they do. Another thing they look at is who got hurt. Because a broken leg for George Clooney may have a significantly different value for a caseboat broken leg.
I would imagine so. Yeah.
And the client, do they have money, or can they hold out for a long period of time, or are they basically destitute? Because the offer will have a lot to do with how long the client can hang on.
You know, that part of the business.
Again, it's not personal.
But that part of the business almost seems unfair. I mean, if you're looking at an individual who needs their job, they've backed up on their house payments, and the insurance company knows the pressure is on, and we're going to offer this little amount, and we know they're going to have to take it because they're desperate, that really seems unfair.
I can give you a perfect example. I was in a mediation the other day, just last week, where they made an offer that was pretty lowball in a case with no question of liability. And they told the mediator, mediator is the guy that goes back and forth with everybody, that you have to convey this offer not just to Gary, but you have to convey this offer to the client to see if she will take it, this lowball offer. And what I believe they had done is they had researched my client's financial circumstances before that mediation, thinking that they could force her to take maybe a third or less, or more, even less than that, of what her case was worth, out of being desperate. Now that happens all the time. Good mediator, he goes in and says, this is the offer they made you, this is what you get, don't think it's enough.
Yeah.
I'm gonna try that case.
Well,
I'm gonna put that case in front of a jury.
I was just gonna ask you, that's where the confidence and the record of your attorney comes in, your trial record of your attorney, because if I'm sitting there, even if I'm desperate, but I know the trial record of Gary C. Johnson, I'm going to say no thank you to the lowball offer.
Well, we walked out, so.
Let's take the final break. We'll come back and put together the ending of the program. This is great information about the business end of it. The problem is there's a person in the middle of this business, and maybe we'll discuss that when we come back. Gary C. Johnson and Simply the Law, right after this.
I'm Gary C. Johnson. I developed a method of representing my clients called Judo Law. Using Judo Law, our team set the record for the largest personal injury verdict in the state of Kentucky. No other law firm has even come close. We've had several multi-million-dollar verdicts since then, and guess what? Now, most of our cases settle. If you've been hurt and you need money fast, give us a call, pound hurt.
Welcome back into Simply the Law. Gary, you pointed out that the insurance company, this is just a business for them. You know how to handle them, but I feel for the client, and I know you try to help them understand that this is a small part of their life and to let you worry about it, but it has to be traumatic for the client to have those things happen to them.
As I've said so many times, the lawsuit is one of the greater damages that my client suffers, is being in the lawsuit, being forced to file a lawsuit, period. The psychological damage is immeasurable, especially to someone that's desperate. I wanted to talk to you a little bit in this program, but I don't think I'm going to have time, about what I believe has become, through extensive advertising lawyers, the personal injury industry. And I think it is doing to law what's probably happened to medicine, because medicine was different when the businessmen weren't in it. You guys can remember, right? I know you can. Entirely different before the businessmen got a hold of it. Well, businessmen are now advertising and saying they're great lawyers, and our profession is eroding. And I watch it disintegrate around me, and I'm the old type. I'm way back there when the client is the only thing that matters, that you have a professional responsibility to the client, that you have to protect the client at all costs, and that you're not in, it's not an assembly line, and you can't have an assembly line because every case is different. And it's changing. The legal profession is changing. And I wanted to talk to you a little bit about that, but I'm running out of time, so I don't think I'm going to have much time to do that.
I think it's an important subject next week for us to discuss, because it sounds like some law firms are mimicking the setup of the insurance company, and they're starting to try to treat it like a business. We've got 10 of these, settle them for that. We've got 10 of these, settle them for this.
Mm-hmm. Well, I don't like what's happening to my profession that I love better than anything. And you can see from my age, I'm not going to be around doing it all that much longer. And if I can pass a little bit of education and something for you guys to be aware of that's going on around you, maybe I can. But law is supposed to be a profession. And it's supposed to be about representing people, trying to help them change their lives for the better, trying to get them back some power and some of the things that they've lost, and try to balance the books somewhat for them. And it's not a business that's designed to make lawyers rich. It was never meant to be that. And I think it's changing.
My friend, very good information. This was a great program to learn, and I think by him talking about walking out with the client and saying no to the lowball offer, Gary's pointed out that the profession of what he does will overcome the business of what they're doing. On behalf of Gary C. Johnson, I'm Keith Casebolt. Thanks for tuning in. As always, Gary and I look forward to seeing you next week right here on Simply the Law.
Thank you for watching Simply the Law, a program created by Gary C. Johnson. Until next week, may you be safe, blessed, and happy. People are asking, what is judo law? Judo is a martial art that uses the opponent's strength to defeat them by not opposing it directly. Gary C. Johnson created a method of practicing law based upon that principle. It worked so well, he named it judo law. To see the results, go to GaryCJohnson.com. To have Gary and his team of judo lawyers go to work for you, dial #HURT. This is an advertisement.